What if I told you this lock will open with any key that fits inside that keyway? Well, this is the Schlage Primus any key lock, and this lock has been used by both state actors and high-end red teams to devastate the security of critical infrastructure and government buildings. All right, today we're going to talk about making a Primus any key lock. So if you don't know what an any key lock is, it is a lock designed to work with any key within a particular family. So we're going to make a Primus Classic any key lock. So it will work with Primus Classic or Primus Classic XP. So how we would use this on a red team is if we need to take a lock out of a door and we need to replace that lock so it doesn't look weird that a lock is missing, right? If the lock is missing, then it's going to look weird. But if we can replace it with a lock, then it doesn't look weird. But we need a lock that can work with any key. So we have to design a any key lock. And now if your client is using Primus, that means that they're going to have a little bit higher security. So we need to make sure we match everything. And how we do that is we get the appropriate Primus core, right? Now there is a way to make a core to fit all different types of keyways, right? I was actually going to mention the keyway here, but if you know the keyway that this is, put it in the comments below, and I'll send you some free swag for whoever the first person is that guesses this correct. But we take the correct Primus core, and then we're actually going to take a Schlage Everest housing. So we have this mortar cylinder right here. You can see on this mortar cylinder that we have this hole right here. This is where the check pin usually will fall in. And that's kind of the secret with the Primus any key lock. We have our typical, chambers that we're going to fill in. But on the finger pin side, what we're going to do is we are going to include the Everest check pin in a Primus finger pin spring on that last chamber right here, last from the front of the plug, right? And we're going to place that in there. And actually how we're going to retain that key or that check pin is we are going to take this key. And this is called the protector key. And what a protector key is it's a key that's cut below the lowest depth for a particular system. So in this case, this is cut below a 9 depth cut. And then it has just a very, very, non-standard side bitting on it so that it will work with finger pins. And I use this key for rapid disassembly or assembly of Primus locks. And what it allows me to do is allows me to fill in this, all the finger pins in here. In this particular case, it's going to be a check pin. And put them all in there. I push them down with my fingers, and then I can actually put this key in here, and it will retain all them, so I can put it into the plug or put the plug into the housing without any major problems, such as, trying to push those pins up and making it just becomes a hassle if you don't have a tool like this. So I was disassembling quite a few Primus locks at one time for a client when I was doing long-term red team engagements for them. And now I just have developed, protector keys from all different types of systems where it becomes very handy. So let's talk about what we're doing actually with these pins now. So we have a 0 depth cut bottom pin or key pin here. And then we have 9 wafers. And that's because with Schlage, we have a total of 10 possible depths, 0 through 9. These wafers right here are actually 1-cut wafers, so they're 0.015 in size and thickness, which is not allowed in the Schlage system. So we just custom order these pins from your favorite lock pin manufacturer, and we just get them in 0.015 thickness. And we have 9 for each chamber, and then for our driver pin here, what we have is actually a 0.165 size driver pin, and that's just small on there so that if we do have like a 0 cut, everything will fit into the top of the Bible up here, as well as a spring. The spring is also a smaller spring, again, just so that if we do have a 0 cut pin or 0 cut depth on a key, like this key right here is all zeros, that it will actually work smoothly with all these. And then for a 6-pin Schlage lock in the commercial series, I fill in chambers 1, 3, and 6. And then I have that check pin here that goes onto that far side chamber. So I'm going to key up this lock now, or I'm going to pin up this lock, and then we're going to check the keys to see that, yes, hey, this is going to work as an any key lock. So I'm going to start with the housing, and then I'll speed this all up. So I put in this check pin, and then I push down on it, and I put the protector key on it, and it retains it, as you can see here. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in the cylinder itself. So with my key in there, I just flip it up, push it all in, and then, bam, get that lock in there, and I take out that protector key. Now, before I test it, I want to make sure that I have my tail cam on the back. Again, tell me what type of tail cam this is. And first person who gets it correct, I'll send some free swag your way. Choom, 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 choom. Screw it in. Perfect. So now I will try it with my 0-bit key to make sure everything works. Okay, yep, 0-bitting works. And then I will try just a random key that I have cut here. Okay, yep, everything works just fine. Oh, a little stuck. There we go. Everything works just fine, right? And again, why are we using this? Well, we're making it so that we can take a cylinder out from the client site so that we can decode it, so that we can then make a master key for that facility, right? So we have a very high access RFID badge, and then we also have a master key for the facility that adds some very good impact for a report for a client, as well as if we need to, just have the ability for another team member to make entry with a physical key without having to decode that entire locking system. We can make an any key lock, put it in that lock, give that key to the other team member, and then they don't have to be a physical security expert. They can just make physical entry easily with this. And the one thing that you want to remember when you put any key lock on a facility, when you're doing an engagement for a client, you have to remember that you are weakening their security and you are taking a lock outside of their facility. So make sure the client is aware of that, right? You don't have to make a big hoopah about it. You just let them know, like, hey, we're going to be weakening these particular doors, or you may not even know the doors yet, but you tell the client, hey, we had weakened this door at this facility, and then what you want to do is try to get that lock, that regular lock that you just took out and replace with any key lock, get it back into where it's supposed to be so that they can retain their normal level of security without having a weakened system, because this will work with any key, as the name says, right? So this will work with any Primus Classic or Primus Classic XP key. And if you leave it there, then anyone with any type of key from there, they can go buy it on eBay. It will work with this lock. So you want to make sure that it's not on site for an extended period of time. Now, we have left this on site at an extended period of time as per the client request one time. And then about after 12 months of no one noticing that there was an any key lock there, they asked us to take the lock out. But that's the longest I've ever had an any key lock at a client site was 12 months personally. So, but yeah, this is a any key Primus any key lock. There are ways to make it work with the sidebar as well. Maybe in a later video, I'll explain how to make a any key lock if you want a sidebar and finger pins still to be in there. It's quite a bit more intensive on how to make that work. As well as let me know if you want other types of any key locks. We could do it with Bilock, or we could do it with Medico. Now, Medico any key locks are actually quite tricky, so maybe I'll give that one away after I get to 200 subs or something, 200,000 subs or something like that, right? So any key lock is a great tool for red teaming. Whenever I'm on an engagement, right, I'm making multiple any key locks so that we can swap them out and have persistent access to that place. Or more importantly, what I'm usually doing is I'm making an any key lock so that I can have the ability to start decoding their system, because I love decoding systems and making keys for restricted keyways and such like that on clients, because they rely so heavily on the manufacturers telling them that, oh yeah, hey, you're the only one that can have this key. No one else can make this type of key out there. No one can make the side bidding for this. Only you will have that. And being able to show them that is not real. And actually, yeah, you can make any key you want if you have the proper tools, and it doesn't require too much effort on your side. It really drives impact to the client, and it looks great in your report, and it's great when you can actually physically hand over not just an RFID badge, because clients are like, oh yeah, you can clone RFID, big whoop-ha, but actually when you hand them over a physical key, it becomes a little bit more real for them. And then sometimes, they'll want to test it and they get a little giddy when they realize, oh yeah, I have the master key, right? But then you also want to be extremely protective of the key when you make a master key for a client site, right? It's not something that you just give to anyone, and it's not something that you lose. And in fact, when we do a master key, if we don't give it to the client, if they don't want to retain it themselves, we will melt the keys down after the engagement itself. So that is how you do a Primus any key lock. I haven't seen anyone post this type of information on Primus online. So that's why I'm making the video. There's tons of people doing regular any key locks. That's just not impressive. This is a little bit more impressive in my opinion. And again, if you want more demos on how to do custom any key locks for other higher security locking systems, let me know, and I'll be happy to make some of those videos after I meet some milestones with this YouTube channel. As always, stay sneaky, stay safe, and stay legal. Take care.